Hi, it's Elisa, Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm doing a reading for the month of April. Actually, we did a drawing for March, and there was one winner every week that got a free reading in March. So in the next reading, tomorrow's reading, I'm going to have the last winner for the March giveaway. I'm not sure if I'm going to do something for April or not. We'll see. There's obviously a lot of stuff in flux right now, so it's okay. Okay, so this the cards that we got seem pretty fitting. So we got the Journey, and we got the Upper World, and this seems particularly appropriate since it looks like we're all going to be under quarantine for an entire month of April. So this seems really fitting. So this Journey, it can kind of remind you of the Hermit card in the traditional tarot deck, but this card kind of invites you to go on this spiritual quest and to do an inner evaluation and follow your own guidance, and follow where it leads you. So it's just like there's no navigational parts. It's an uncharted path because you're not following anyone else's path. You're following your own path. And then the upper world, this is populated by, spirit guides and our ancestors. And this is inviting you to kind of step into your highest self and discover what that is. So this is kind of like, these are both cards of sort of like inner awareness and stepping into your highest destiny, which makes sense because we're all kind of going through this period of solitude, and that kind of lends itself to a spiritual exploration, which is seemingly what is happening for the month of April. So I'm pulling out the ethereal visions to get some overall energies, and at the bottom of the deck we have the World. So this is an end of one cycle of life and the beginning of a new cycle, which makes sense because I think everybody's life is going through a huge flux right now, and we're all trying to figure out what that is, because this isn't a small one, it's a big one. So I'm going to pull 3 cards of getting some overall energies for the reading. Oh, interesting. But yeah, the readings for the last couple weeks since this, quarantine started have been very compelling. There's actually a whole thread about it. If you have been following the channel, you would know that the videos are arranged in a slightly unusual way, and that they're arranged according to storyline. So readings that have a similar thread are kind of linked together in playlists on the channel. And so there is a whole playlist about the coronavirus because there's a storyline that's emerging around that for sure. Okay, so we've got the 10 of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Temperance card. So this is really interesting because it's the 10 of Cups, this is a card of happiness, abundance, fertility. You see this happy family here with a little baby, and they're abundant. And then we have the King of Swords. This can be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but this is also just sort of it can speak to some harsh truths being revealed. And then we have the Temperance card, which is a card of balance and a card of alchemy. And this card, I think, actually appeared in yesterday's reading about making a bold move. So it's interesting because we're all going on these spiritual quests, which is kind of compelling us to you know, make some no-nonsense decisions about how life is going to move forward from here, because, you know, I think we're all kind of under the gun and having to face some stark realities that are going to require some, you know, a no-nonsense approach and sort of cutting through the slop, you know, which is kind of what this card speaks to, you know. So that's a little harsh, but actually, you know, that also kind of makes you evaluate like what's really important to you in life and sort of simplify things, you know. So it's like cutting the slop out of the system, and then like in doing that we're going to arrive at this new balance and you know, kind of building a life around what's important, you know. And in this, you know, this would kind of suggest that that would be, you know, your family and your, you know, your abundance and, you know, kind of rebuilding your foundation around this, like what you deem as important. So that's kind of good, actually, you know. But it looks like it's going to be a little harsh getting there, you know. But sometimes in life, you know, it's like we almost have too many choices, and sometimes we have to go through something difficult to like distill things down to like what really is meaningful to us, because, you know, in a way it's almost good, because, you know, life is short. We don't have, you know, unlimited amounts of time, and you know, sometimes it's good to have to bring things into focus so that we can remember what that is. And, you know, I think that it's different for every person. So in a way, it's kind of a luxury that we all have this time to kind of clarify, you know, what that means to each of us. Interesting. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple cards that came up in yesterday's reading. There's definitely been also during this coronavirus thread a big theme around changes in the arena of like personal relationships, because for sure if you're going to be, you know, home as much as people are right now, you know, if your home situation isn't, you know, in alignment with your wishes, well, that's for sure going to come up, you know, and it seems like that's definitely the case. And so, okay, so I'm going to this Bianco Nero to get some general energies, but also to get some clarity, because obviously there's this harsh truth, and we kind of need to hone in on the black and white, you know. So I'm going to this black and white deck, and at the bottom of this deck we have the Seven of Cups, which is a card of confusion, having a lot of options, you know. So we've got the Three of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and we have the Queen of Wands. So this is like a card of waiting for your ships to come in. Here, you can kind of see it off in the distance, but it's not here yet. And then we have the Ace of Cups. So this is like a brand new beginning in love. And then we have the Queen of Wands. So this is a passionate, fiery queen who's like really in command of her emotions and can use that power to manifest her desires in the three-dimensional world. She can also represent the other woman, you know, and it's interesting because both of these cards appeared in yesterday's reading about making a move, and it kind of suggested this sort of like this love story that had been, it was kind of about to come into focus, you know. So it's just like you can see it off in the distance, but it's not here yet. So it's like maybe there's some contemplation around that. But then, interestingly, I'm getting some more cards from yesterday. So the Death card. So there's a change. Whatever this is that you're seeing off in the distance, and actually that's falling right under this. This is what you're wanting. You're wanting this stable family situation, and you can see it off in the distance, but it's not here, you know, and this is something that you want to change, you know. And then we have, you know, delivering these stark realities, these harsh truths, and underneath that we have the Ace of Cups, And we have the Six of Cups, which this speaks to like a deep soulmate connection, and oftentimes refers to someone from the past. So, you know, it's almost like maybe someone's being honest with themselves. And it's funny because I was talking earlier about, yeah, if your, you know, love situation isn't what it's cracked up to be, like, you know, you're not really going to be able to avoid that, you know, staying home all the time like we all are. And so it's like maybe this is something that's having to be cleaned up for someone, you know. But like in doing that, we're bringing through this new love connection with someone from the past. And then we have this new balance that we've arrived at, however, involving this other woman, but you know, it's like this deep love, you know. So it's just, it's interesting because, yeah, it's almost like we're reshuffling the deck chairs, but coming to a new situation that like suits us better. So I'm gonna pull 3 more from Ethereal Visions to get some guidance about how to move through this moment. But yeah, this definitely seems like an extension from yesterday's reading, so I would maybe go back and look at that if this is a storyline that resonates with you. And I feel like this has like this whole like love situation reshuffling has been coming up a lot in the coronavirus thread. You know, it's been like back and forth between that and also just freaking out about your financial stability and like, you know, what that's going to be. Oh, whoa. Okay, this is cool. All right. Okay, so at the bottom, we got the 7 of Cups again, so that's a repeat card. So yeah, obviously some confusion. Then we got the World again, second time, another double message. We got Strength, and we got the Lovers again, another double message. So 3 double messages. We got confusion, we've got the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, and then we have this deep love connection. So obviously there's some flux happening in the arena of love that's happening. And, you know, we're wanting to bring in this stable family situation. But it looks like it's going to take some strength to move through this moment of flux, you know, because some harsh truths are going to have to be delivered. Probably some people aren't going to be happy about it, you know, and it's going to require some strength. Like, it's not going to be easy to manifest this change, but we got the Lovers card twice, you know, and it's like maybe wanting to connect with this person from the past, this other woman, but actually it's going to require strength to move through this moment, but you're going to arrive at this balanced, idyllic place if you just bite the bullet and just do it, you know. That's kind of what it looks like from here. So I'm going to pull Sacred Traveler or final message. But yeah, actually, I keep forgetting that this is for the whole month of April, so, you know, this is obviously like not something that's like an overnight change, but it looks like there's definitely going to be some movement on this issue for the month of April. And like you're kind of encouraged to like go inward and really contemplate like what it is that you really want, you know, for the long term, because this is kind of a moment of opportunity to like bring that in. Okay. Yeah. So we get the view from above, get the big picture, you know? So we're not looking at just like the day-to-day, fill the void, like, you know, everyday reality. We're looking at this long-term picture. And it's like if you're not happy with the day-to-day reality, it's probably time to do something about it, you know? Like, you can't just keep, like, I mean, when you look back at your life at the end, it's just like, you want it to mean something to you, you know? So it's like if that's not your situation right now, like this reading is really encouraging you to look at that because we're not just here to fill the void, you know? Life is it means more than that, you know? Or you'd like it to, you know? So yeah, think about that. I'm gonna pull one more card from Sacred Traveler because I think, I don't know. It seems like we could use one more piece of advice here. All right, one more card. But yeah, think it's like if there's someone that like really like brings this passion out and you've kind of been like keeping that feeling down for a while, like maybe what this reading is trying to say is like maybe it's time to stop doing that, and like maybe you're not really doing yourself or anyone else a favor by doing that. And if like you're not feeling this where you're at, like it's time to make a change. Okay. All right. So we got answering the call. The time is now. Time to make a change. So we'll have a winner for the reading tomorrow, and we'll see you then.